noticed over the past few days that Amabella is trending. Now, Amabella is a Ghanaian content creator, and there are some revelations she came to give out, which has sparked social media comments and then debates, and people are also adding on, buttressing her point and then also sharing their point of view as to her claims that some churches in Ghana, or a particular church which she mentioned to be the Christ Embassy Youth Church, performs fake miracles. Now, we have lots and lots of audios that we are going to listen to and get into the details of this matter. Now, there are three personalities involved in this case. The first one will be Amabella herself. The second one will be Pastor Chris Oyakilome and Pastor Erock, who happens to be, or who was, the head pastor of the Christ Embassy Youth Church right here in Ghana before he was transferred. And so let's get into the nitty-gritties of it, and then how people have all of a sudden also come to share their point of view to let the world know that probably what Amabella is saying might be very, very true, because yes, so there are church members who have come to defend their stance. There are also other people from all over the world who are also saying that yes, it may be or it may not be true. Let's get into the real details of it. Now, Amabella, as we know, very, very beautiful lady. She calls herself as a social media influencer, and we know that she, or even if you don't know, she was once a Muslim before she was invited to join the church, that is Christ Embassy Youth Church. And she says that the role she was giving as a den was to help their social media and boost their account, especially on Instagram. She calls herself one of the early pioneers of that church's branch when it started. And so everything she is saying, she knows exactly what it is. You know, somebody having a first-hand experience of how things have gone till now. She is the best person to talk about it, and that is why when she came out to say this, it has actually gone widespread, and people are actually believing her because yes, she was there, she had her experiences, and then she came to explain how all these things came to play, especially with regards to fake miracles. Now let's go listen to the very first audio as she explains how she saw things to be initially, and to her things didn't go well at all, especially she being a first-time Christian, or she being introduced into the Christian ministry for the first time. She said this was not what she was expecting, and she was so disappointed by the operations of that particular church and that particular man of God being Pastor Erock. Let's go and listen to the very first audio.
When I started the church, there were not a lot of people that were in the church, right? I was part of the pioneers when he started that church, because a friend of mine introduced me to him, because he had just moved from being a singer to this, and he agrees that yes, he agrees that he's part of it, because when I made the decision to leave the church, he actually took me to, that was my first time at campaigns. He took me there to explain to me why I shouldn't leave, and that he's a sinner and he has fallen short of the glory of God. So me and him, we understand that he's the reason why I left the church. Now, I want to talk about my background and why he is the reason why, because I am from a Muslim home, right? So that was my proper introduction to going to church. So every understanding of church I would have, or understanding of the Bible, was straight from him. But there's some things were weird to me, which is why I left. Now, first, when I started the church, 1 month in, we were doing competition, like, oh,
So, if you were listening very attentively, you could know, or you could notice, that Amabella was expressing her displeasure at the operations of the church as at when she was introduced to it by a friend. She claims that she was invited to come and join the church. And when she got there, due to the fact that she was or she is a social media influencer and a content creator, being a pioneer or part of those who started the church, they gave her a role to play as a social media head in charge of Instagram. But she said 1 month into the activities of the church, she noticed some things which didn't go well with her at all. In fact, she used the word, they were very weird. The very first one she spoke about was the fact that she noticed that there was some form of competition amongst the church with regards to their branches. So let's assume we have Christ Embassy Youth Church branch in Kaswa, then another one at East Legon, then another one at Spinkters. So they were giving some form of a target to be able to meet financially, that when at the end of a meeting they come to say that, oh, this branch had more money than this branch, and this branch also came second, this branch we have to do better because we are not getting to the top of our affairs. And she said when she noticed that, she was a bit taken aback for somebody who was a Muslim, and she to her, she was asking herself, why in the first place should there be some form of a competition amongst the churches or amongst themselves or the branches of the church? At the end of the day, whatever everybody is able to make or what everybody is able to get should be sufficient enough. But that was not what she experienced. Also, yes, so let's go back and then listen to the audio. When we come back, we'll get into more details.
When I started the church, there were not a lot of people that were in the church, right? I was part of like the pioneers when he started that church, because a friend of mine introduced me to him, because he had just moved from being a singer to this, and he agrees that yes, he agrees that he's part of it, because when I made the decision to leave the church, he actually took me to, that was my first time at campaigns. He took me there to explain to me why I shouldn't leave, and that he's a sinner and he has fallen short of the glory of God. So me and him, we understand that he's the reason why I left the church. Now, I want to talk about my background and why he is the reason why, because I am from a Muslim home, right? So that was my proper introduction to going to church. So every understanding of church I would have, or understanding of the Bible, was straight from him. But there's some things were weird to me, which is why I left. Now, first, when I started the church, 1 month in, we were doing competition. Like, oh, let's say Kotoka branch raised 20 million, so maybe Agbogolosi branch raised 30 million, so we have to pass them. Hey, why do we have to pass them? For what? Like, I don't even understand. We were like, that was like, I wasn't understanding why we have to pass another church. Like, we actually went for this type of, I don't know what it is, where other branches will come and say, okay, we raised this, we raised that, we raised this. Me, I don't know where the money was going to, but people in the church found delight in passing other branches. So that was my first red flag. And then the preaching constantly became money, 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 right? And I was the social media handler at a point, the Instagram social media handler at a point. So the money issue was one. The second thing was, when I left the church because I saw something that was very, very horrible, and which is why he took me to the church. But then he came to tell me that, oh, he's a sinner, I should listen to the preaching and not the individual, and that's understandable. He's a human being and he makes mistakes. When I went to the church that day, they do this thing where they do a night of miracles or something. There was this guy from UPSA that, like, I know him, but I've forgotten his name. He had an accident, so he had crutches, and they prayed for him, and he put the crutches down. The next day, I saw him in Legon, and he was using the crutches again. Now, this is my first introduction to miracles and all of these things. This is my first introduction to miracles and all of these things. So me, I wasn't understanding what is going on. So did it work? Did it not work? Like, how is the process supposed to be? Like, is it supposed to go immediately? Is it a slow process? If it's a slow process, then he should have left with the crutches. But I feel like in his mind they've prayed for him, so he used him to walk. Then the next day he realized that, nah, it's not gone. Then he started using like the crutches again. So that was I didn't even come back again. After I saw him that day, I didn't even come back again. And then the third thing was that I feel like people were, because of the preaching that was going on, people were coerced to give testament or say testimonies. I don't even know how that thing is called, but like coming to thank God for whatever it is. But when they, before they come and thank God, they say, thank you, Pastor Sam, for the opportunity. What opportunity? You are thanking God. Why are you thanking the pastor for the opportunity to give a testament to God to win souls to Christ? I don't know. It is just too much for me. It felt like the
Fobo, like, small. You
sorry.
hit.
It felt like the reverence was more to the leaders than the than God Himself. And also, I was made a cell leader. Mind you, I'm from a Muslim home. So if you make me a cell leader and put me in charge of a group of people, honestly, how am I going to preach? So who told, like, which spirit of God told you that this, even if, let's say, in the future, I'll be a cell leader and graduate to a pastor and whatever, in that moment, is it really God that told
Amen.
you that I was right?
What do you mean by you are made a cell leader? Like,
Yeah, like, so
on
they'll put you, they are cell leaders, so they'll put you in charge of like a group of people where
right,
like,
right. And what were you
yeah.
supposed to do? Like, what were you supposed to do as a cell
Or
leader?
sometimes you talk to them about God, you talk to them about
Okay,
the funds that they are supposed to raise. And I
okay.
actually never did that because I didn't even know where to start from. Maybe it is a gradual,
Ama, see,
yeah.
you have all the time in the world. We are not ending the space
I'm sorry,
anytime
I
soon.
talk fast. I talk
No,
fast. I
see,
can't.
if you like, talk till tomorrow. Me, Panya, my yes on. Me, my yes on.
I'm sorry, I talk fast, but yes. So yeah, as I was saying, they made me a cell leader too, and then it was very like confusing to me, right? And then later, people started selling their things because if you give a seed, if you give your last seed to God, God will multiply it to you. That was the perception there. So people started selling their last things and everything, but fortunately I didn't even have to even sell, so that's what helped me. Maybe if I had, I would have also sold something. But when I left the church not too long ago, I heard, that's when I heard about Adosi and everything, but I never asked him about it till I left the church. It's the delusion thing is very crazy. That I know Adose had a friend that died in a motorbike, but Adose never let go of his motorbike, but he let go of his motorbike when he entered that church. That is how crazy it is. Like, I don't know how
Hey,
it
hey,
works,
hey, hey.
but that is how it is. Like, it is like if you give to, like, I don't know what it is, but the preaching is always about giving money, giving money, giving. I don't really remember any.
So you say the church, them they beg, like beggy.
I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like you have to sow seed. So like you can even give, if you give your last to church, you don't know, God will give you miracle money. But why should I give my last to the church before God will give me the miracle money? Like it doesn't like make sense. It's just a lot of things. And when it came to the girls, I felt like there was a bit of grooming on that side, because there were some people he met from high school, and he like they grew up in the church. But that is not my story to tell. But what I saw, I had to leave because I felt
What did
like
you see?
that is
Cell
their
leader.
story. So I can't come and maybe they are not ready to
Thank you, Amma.
to
Thank you,
talk
Amma.
about it. So once they are ready to speak about it, fine.
Oh, you are my the way my vim come for you, pa.
Ama, you
No,
could go back to the church, oh.
If I go back to the church,
Charlie,
no.
right now
I
you can't
actually
counsel
tried. I
people.
actually
Go and
tried.
come back. Go and come back.
I tried going back to the church again to listen to the preaching instead of the person who is doing the preaching. Like, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
listen to the word rather than looking at the person doing the preaching. But I still went back and I was met with money conversation, and I was like, you know what? It's
Wait, so do they reach out to you now to join again
no.
at all?
No.
And when you left initially, what was the reaction?
That's what I'm saying. The pastor took me out. He apologized for what I saw. And what that's why sometimes when I'm laughing about it and these people come and reply my tweets, and I'm like, is your pastor aware you are doing this to me, especially because he will not be happy with what exactly I'm going to say. Because if he actually took me out to apologize, to say, oh, please, Like, you have to relax and consider your pastor when you are attacking people who have left the church. If you are still there, fine, that's you. It will come. Everybody's own will come. You will leave eventually, but for now, you have to relax and don't invalidate other people's experiences because of what you think you are experiencing right now. Just relax. You will see it. If you don't see it, you will see it. Yes. So that is all I
Okay.
can remember for now. If I remember anything, I'll tweet it.
All right. Thank you so much. We have someone here.
So this was a live on X or Twitter that she did, and she, as we've heard, a lot is actually going on. So wonders we say shall never end. She said she was made a cell leader as young or as novice as she was, being a Muslim turned Christian who was invited maybe 2 months into or 1 month into the church activities, and then she was made a cell leader. What at all was she going to tell her cell members, and what preaching at all could she give to them? She realized that was also a big question mark and a big red flag. She also noticed the fact that most of the time the messages or the preaching was money centered. Come and sow a seed, do this, fundraising here, fundraising there. And she said it even looked like some people were coerced to go and sell their properties, their resources to be able to raise those funds, to be able to give on the church altar so that God will bless them. And to her, that was not good at all. Because why should you sacrifice your last for God to be able to bless you? So all of these things to her were too confusing, and to make matters worse, when she decided to pull back, the man of God invited her on a date, took him pisky. Let's watch the second video. When we come back, we'll take more details right from there. Now, the second video is about one church member who was also throwing tantrums at Amabella and calling her names and saying that she doesn't know what she is saying, because being able to serve in the church is a great opportunity. And when she left, probably she thought that people will come for her or the church will come for her, but the church still thrived without her. Her faith is little, they claimed. Let's go and watch that. When we come back, we'll continue with the rest.
Opportunity. Hey, now uko ejumema, on child boys. Please.
I don't know why she's raising this issue.
And I met somebody at A, and then the person was still using the crutches. Oh, but damn, now
Of course, but you have to use faith.
Actually, hey, everybody, hey. Like, seriously, it really baffles me. Because I do, like, the Muslim girl, she only believes a very different. Who faith? Who faith?
You know how faithful they are Muslims. Or no one to me influencing them. You know how they can do.
What you say now? Christian, what's your influence? So, Christian is very extrovert because of Saga money. Now, you are condemning the church. It's not like question you have to come. You have to condemn. You have to condemn the individuals, because I'm not sorry. Yes, there were sorry. So I say, and then if I can't sorry because a baby now to say, oh, pastor, you're good in some bad sorry. The baby now so bad because a man sorry.
What do you mean changing the panel?
The obey say, obey do, obey my scriptures. Way. So what's your pastor preaching down? Papa no uncut. Oh, Erock, because honestly speaking, when I see people doing these things, it really worries me, because me, I've gone to church. I always say that I've gone to church, but always me faith in you. And I'm going to blame pastor say on them me faith in true, because I know that the fault is coming from me. So as I said, if you see me in church and you see me somewhere, blame me. Why are you blaming the church? Because it's a big individual preference, and an individual people are faithful in the church. A man for sorry, or more dedicated. Every month so call. Every month so call cry no almost the individual you. A pastor is supposed to lead you to the Lord. They don't be condemning first love and so. Hey, they are dedicated people in First Love, like crazy. Me and now me calling meeting and chain way. The banner of free UK buy. I carry for UK buy because I'm more conference for Ghana. Hey, how many people will do this? She said, I'm not for a very dedicated, like people are very dedicated. Who get on the life are like forget everything. Like yeah. But obviously chain only me when you know now conclude it say sorry no. It is not the church individual. Like individual, and it's gonna be like that till eternity.
Almost say nipa ba kon ya dia I was say like it affects all the church like obia to say bia me to say the me call me call
church is the hospital
me call CEYC na me obi hu mo club na CEYC you a new cry be preach or amount now aside it's individual that sudden you can't see.
You can, but I don't know. Hey, CEYC abort, so CEYC hates like it's crazy, and I know that because end time is very near. And to never be say it will happen. They will condemn this pastor like that. What I say. But I sorry your hospital. If you come to say well, sorry, not so attire shorter. Who say because as time long. Last time was go for no month to sao into no kwamede me sha carry tenting. Saga started. I say the last time a First Love. Hey, meaning First Love so no more shepherds, no more suffer. But now omo into adultery, let's say hey, it's an individual preference. They can't be just a individual. And it is so sad because I say I youth church. I youth church. CEYC I youth church. It's not even say Ekoso. Oko Abuja no. Youth for. You see youth, but you see the elder people also there. It's not about the impactful things that Oyema church no, and the impactful things that Oyema youth no, because he's joined so many youth to God. Hey, if you go to church and you see some of them praying, you will love God. Me, I always say the reason why I go to church is the way some of them are very dedicated to God. Because Rhapsody givings, amount for giving like mad for Rhapsody, just for people to get the book to read. And I know so meaning say the man go baby, I'm on read, but hey, so I say $1,000. Pastor Michelle, they last year of giving about $10,000 for Rhapsody. But I don't know the thing that he's doing and everything.
And so this was a church member, or is a church member, who is defending Pastor Erock and the Church of Christ Embassy, saying that everything that happens, probably there's a reason to it. First and foremost, she claims that, yes, people have their individual differences and then their individual preferences. So as a man of God, he may have faulted somewhere, but then she shouldn't generalize the thing to make it look like then all men of God are the same or all churches are like this. She says that the donations they give are for the Rhapsody of Reality printing, and that is giving out to people for free. How can they sponsor that, or how can they print more copies if the church members do not give? And so it is the donations that come from the church members, the cell leaders, the cell members that they put together, that little by little they are able to print more Rhapsodies of Realities for people to be able to read. She also mentioned the fact that faith is very important, that as a Christian, growing in faith will help you to understand certain things that happens in the church. But if you refuse to grow in faith and you become an amateur, it means that whatever that will happen, you will always have a problem with it, just as Amabella has currently. And so she is calling on all church members, especially those who are very staunch, that they should not pay attention to any of these social media hula baloos, but keep on holding to their faith, keep on being committed, and then see how far this will come. She says we are getting to the end time, so she's not surprised at all that this is happening. Let's go watch another video. When we come back, we'll give you details of it. Now, this video is about another church member who is probably no longer a church member, sharing her experiences about how at a point in time, she was also asked to give some donations where she gave with her mother a joint donation. And at a point, there was somebody close to her that lost a family member. And the reaction that came from another member of the church, she said she wasn't pleased at all. Let's go listen to the details of that. When we come back, we'll
They're
continue.
awarding people based on how much they give. Like, let's say your target is $1 million. Okay, cool. But you're awarding and your starting range is $1,000. Somebody probably gave like $50 and that's all they had. But you're telling the person that, oh, because they gave $1,000, they didn't give $1,000, or maybe that year it's $2,000 that was like the least. So their $50 is like nothing. Meanwhile, the person feels like, hey, I gave my all, I did everything. But you, these same people are also selling them this thing where if you give, you are going to become rich, you are going to have it multiplied in double folds. And the funny thing was, it was on uni people. Like me that I'm in uni, how much do I even get? That you've given
And
me a
so the
target
youth
of
can
like
raise
$1,000.
$1 million. Hey, Charlie,
Sorry?
if you serious, the youth had to raise $1 million.
Yeah. And the thing was,
Why?
like, even during
Yeah.
sermons, right? They would
So,
bring like people who
mind you, this
had
is per year.
actually,
This is per
yeah, this
year.
per year.
Hey, $1
Yeah.
million per year.
So
It's
so
not.
let me
It's
just
not like.
so let me just try to explain things, right? So if they give the targets like a $1 million target for the year, he then breaks it down into the various churches. So like from church 1 to church 12 or something, there are lots. Then before the churches now have meetings with their fellowship leaders and then they say that okay, I'm going to do this and that and that. Then your cell leader will now take her fees. She'll go and also go and pledge that okay, I'll bring $10,000. She's pledging on behalf of the whole cell, knowing very well that probably she cannot do it on her own, but she's going to do it with the help of her cell members. Then now they start putting pressure on you, the cell member, to also give the amount. I remember at a point I pledged $100 with my mom, and I told the cell leader that oh, it's a joint pledge, so I'm going to pay for both of us. So I did pay the $100, and then I told her, oh, she was happy, they congratulated me in the group and everything. Then she texts me and she says that no, my mom has to also pay $100 because heaven is an individual thing and the blessings are going to be individual. I'm like, what?
Hey, then they pay $100 go heaven.
You get why?
At that moment, like I was so shocked, I was so confused. Like I literally told you it was a joint contribution. So why are you now making it look like she also has to pay like another $100? And then I think the second experience that really made me feel like these people are very out of touch with reality was when my sister's dad died. That was my stepdad. So this guy's literally like 16 years. She stayed with her dad all her life. Now her dad passed away just when she enters SHS and she's come home for vacation. You're like, she should come to church. And I'm trying to explain to you that, oh, we are in the morning season and all of that. So she can't come. And the first thing that this church person tells us is that we should let the dead bury their dead.
That's crazy.
That's insane, my nigga.
I
Eh?
was just at home
I don't
like,
understand.
no, so they're trying to tell you that you should let the dead bury their dead. They are not supposed to immerse yourself in like the morning and everything. Just come to
Oh.
church. Leave the family members to do their mourning and all of that. You can leave them to do whatever they want. But then you should come to church at all costs. And it was so crazy because this is somebody, she's so young. She's not even mature enough to even understand that her father is even dead. But yeah, telling her to come to church, come and listen to a pastor from like what? 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. And
Hey,
some
why
of
church
these
they close at
things,
4?
oh, it's even worse than that, my dear.
Eh.
So I think,
Hey,
so I think those who
serious.
know me, who knew me when I was there, like I was the one running the program sometimes. So if the program starts at 8 o'clock, I'm the one who works with like the production team and everything. So sometimes I'll have to go to church around 6 a.m. Not 6 a.m. per se, but like 7. Try to like get everything shape form before the service starts. And I was also like an EA to a pastor. So
What's his
I
name?
would.
Hey, Charlie, you are inside though.
Inside rough. Hey.
Hey, Charlie.
Oh God.
So you can
The
tell us
people
what
will
the
be the PS for the
the
church.
money
They
for.
they they are the heal them.
Oh Charlie.
They inside wow.
So
You do inside
Like
pocket.
so
they the getting